Alright, this is westbound New York Avenue. I'll be turning on to southbound 395. We're approaching New Jersey Avenue right now, also 3rd Street. What you'll see is my lane shifts over as I get past this intersection here. I'm not supposed to get into what would become a through lane past 395 and keep going along New York Ave. The lane to my right opens up into 2 new lanes. But you get a lot of people who just go straight, whereas I just shifted left. And that causes some issues. Because that right now, the absolute rightmost lane, the rightmost cell on the curb, tends to become a parking lane as you get past this signal up here at 4th Street. So you have, as my lane shifts over to where I am now, the previous curb lane opens up into now this curb lane in the lane to my right. We get a lot of people who shift into the lane just to my right to get around that part of traffic. And so if somebody in my lane goes straight when they're not supposed to, that's a conflict between that straight traffic and the shifting traffic. The shifting people from following along the curb lane officially have the right of way. But a lot of people in my lane don't heed those markings. Saw it a lot this morning, and I know from my own personal experience it happens a lot in the evening as well. Alright, we are turned on to southbound 395. A good platoon. Speed limit 45, I'm at 35 and accelerating. 40. I'm going a bit faster this time. 45, I feel pretty good. I'm keeping pace with these guys in front of me. Coming up on a speed camera as we come out of the tunnel, so you're going to see some brake lights probably. Actually, I'm seeing some brake lights in general from the congestion, which is, looks like it's extending back a bit further this time than it did in my last lap. Now we're going 40 miles per hour past this camera, and then get people who are on their brakes. Got a guy in my wing so I can't shift around him. We're at 35 right now. They're going to keep decreasing because we've got congestion ahead we're coming up into. Not sure how much you can see that. We're going to be sitting in this for a while. Now, this is the on-ramp from 3rd Street coming up on my right with the bus. They get their own lane as they come on. The bus seems to be one over to my side. He's headed to Anacostia, that's why. I kind of don't want this bus in front of me. So they're really not going to see anything. But I just let him in front of me. So that's that. Alright. Yeah, I guess I'm staying where I am. Just trying to keep some distance. Buses everywhere. Where are these guys going? I'm going about 10 miles per hour right now, and that would be a high speed for the last minute or so. And stopped. Now this congestion from my previous lap I found is going in both directions, along Virginia as well as out toward southeast and into Maryland. Now the parkway, as you go across Anacostia, the Baltimore Washington Parkway is congested in both directions. So any traffic that's going northbound, which as far as New York Avenue is concerned should not be a significant amount. But I mean in general you pick up traffic that's coming along 695 or they can get stuck in that traffic and back up and block traffic from here. So northbound northbound Parkway has a crash at between Burroughs and some street I am absolutely completely forgetting the name of. It's the road that runs, I think, along the eastern end of Capitol Hill. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Kind of framing the east end of Atlas District in the H Street corridor. I forget the name. Somebody's got base. Anyway, the southbound Parkway didn't have any incidents reported on WTOP or so far on NPR. But because it's just slow, I know things slow down in both directions along there. I know from personal experience. And I know that congestion along southbound 395 here is pretty typical from personal experience. But westbound 395 into Virginia, again, I don't have any incidents. I'm not aware of any incidents out there. I think it's just typical recurring congestion. I'm not as familiar with that stretch, however. And soon we'll be having the ramp coming on from D Street, which, as I established from the previous round, is a pretty heavy volume coming on. Now, as congestion is now reaching further back than it did last lap, it could just be that this volume isn't necessarily heavy, but getting stuck in traffic and just queuing up as a result. But I have reason to believe it is pretty heavy, just because first it's a constant flow, but second, it was very heavy in the morning as northbound getting off of D Street, so it makes sense that you'd have the reverse people getting on in the evening. I'm going to keep watching that for a couple of laps. I mean, it's pretty heavy now, and it was the last lap as well. So, yeah, I expect it's heavy volume. Horns solve everything. Yes. Actually, it sounds like it's from the northbound side, which, if you've driven this area, these tunnels are confusing if you're not familiar with the area. They've all these ramps coming on, coming off. And plus, when you're inside a tunnel, people just get nervous. There's this guy on the right now driving in the gore, cutting in the traffic just ahead of that SUV there. I don't know what that silver car was doing, but it wasn't right. Maryland tags 5/8/G 1. It was 5/8/G 9124. Maryland tags. It's a silver Pontiac. That Grand Prix, Grand Am, one of those. Motorcycle, lane splitting, which had one of those in the last lap. I mean, I'm not against it in concept. I think it's dangerous, but I think technically it's illegal, if I remember right. I don't think lane splitting is allowed in DC. Well, in an urban environment, it'd actually be alright with that. Different point entirely. Put WTOP on quietly in the background here. Traffic report coming up in about a minute. Oh yeah, no radio in the tunnel. Forgot about that. I'm just cruising along at 5 miles per hour. It's been a pretty sustained speed for a while now. As I say that, brake lights come on and I'm still on. Ooh, happy day. Our favorite reference right about now, I think we're underneath the Capitol is reflecting pool. I guess we run a little bit west of that, if I remember right. As we curve back to the left. Traffic report's gonna be over by the time we get out of here. I can see the exit, but I only got one more minute before the traffic report comes on. It could be close. By the time I get reception though, I think we might be past DC traffic. We'll see. It did save DC for the end last time. Alright, so I'll say the US Capitol exit is now coming up on the right. This was pretty low volume last time. Looks like it's pretty low volume this time. I don't see, apart from a couple isolated cars, I don't see much, really much traffic headed out that way. There goes one guy. I think he just got fed up with traffic. He was kind of sitting in the lane for a while before he changed. Oh, here we go.
To the right, but some lanes quickly blocked on the toll road itself on the eastbound side of the area of Route 7 as well. So right now the accident is in the airport access lanes on the eastbound side before Route 7. On the outer loop of the Beltway headed south from 270 slow the entire way, coming off the 270 spur to Tyson's Corner, but with the travel lanes open. Inner loop delays are from about the Georgetown Pike up to 270 through Bethesda and Silver Spring, but without incident. Northbound George Washington Parkway, some delays up from Spout Run most of the way to the broken down car after Turkey Run, but before the Beltway with a broken drive shaft. That sits in the right lane. And southbound I-95, some delays headed south of Dale City. The crash was just after Route 234. Dumfries, exit 152, should be in the process of being moved to the shoulder. North of town on 270, slowest from Montgomery Village most of the way through Germantown, up through Clarksburg, up into Hyanstown. No incidents along the way. And on I-95 on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, just volume delays, especially on the BW Parkway. You should find the travel lanes open, though. If you have to sit in traffic, shouldn't you at least be sitting in a car you love? Dark cars, see what it's like to love car buying. Bob in by WTLP Traffic.
Well, that's that.
The weather is going to continue. Another clear night tonight. Now, we could have some patchy ground fog again. Dense fog this morning. We'll see what happens overnight as we drop into the upper 30s to middle 40s. Another sunny and mild day tomorrow in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Sunshine on Wednesday, mid to upper 60s. A cold front will bring some clouds. Temperatures in the lower to middle 60s on Thursday with a 30% chance.
So yeah, traffic incidents rather minimal as applied to us. Where did this ramp on my left come from? Oh yeah, that's right. So ramp on my left, pretty low volume as headed toward Anacostia. The ramp on the right, though, also coming from southwest, is pretty good volume as they head out to Virginia. So there's definitely a good demand for Virginia if I use those ramp volumes as a metric. I mean, from the 395 volumes, just from the congestion, it feels equal right now. I can't tell which side's more predominant. But looking at those ramps, there's definitely a stronger focus toward Virginia between each of the on-ramps coming on right now. But in the end, both sides moving at the same speed. It's 5:30 and it's sunset.